butterflies. This is your girl, Sharon K. Griffin, aka Madam Butterfly. I hope that you are flapping your wings on today. Yes, I am back for the second time on today. I am not doing a show tonight. Um, Today is just an exclusive day of extra phenomenal people. So, again, I have Coach Herbert Prince Mutawo from South Africa. He is a famous blogger, and we're going to continue our communication on relationships, dating, love, all that good stuff. So, let's put your hands together for my special guest. Coach Herbert. Yes. Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Greetings to the audience. I'm all right. Thanks to have me on board.
Yes. Thank you for coming back and gracing me and my audience with your presence. So I know you're probably wondering, why is Sharon dressed like that? Well, I am dressed like this because I'm going to the gym after we get off.
Oh.
You see, when I met my husband, I was slim and trim, okay? So I have to maintain what I gave him, what I presented in the beginning, so that he won't divorce me because I gained weight.
You're touching on something very interesting. Are women really excited about going to the gym? Or maybe when you get married, you don't need to go to the gym. Your body is fine. You can keep it the way it is.
Well, let me tell you, and my husband's going to kill me. He told me if I got fat, he's divorcing me. So I made sure.
You're in trouble.
I make sure that I keep it tight and right. Okay. But I'm not only doing it for him, but I'm doing it for myself. I was a big girl before. I was 186 pounds, and I had let myself go. I was like a lot of the church women who like to eat. Okay. I was eating a whole lot of food, and I let myself go. And my husband, my ex-husband, was looking at other women, and he was telling me that you look good, you're perfect. Yeah, I'm perfect for you while you're looking at other women. Okay, I'm perfect for you, so no other men can be attracted to me. Okay, while you doing your thing. No, honey, that ain't happening again. That's bullshit. How about that? Okay,
You said something interesting. You carried a lot of weight,
I did.
180 something, and but you were feeling good about it. Were you?
I was feeling good when it was going in my mouth. I was feeling real good. I was eating everything and anything that I could get my hands on. But I got to tell you this, that my incentive to lose weight was my divorce. My previous divorce. And because I wanted a new man. So I knew that I had to get myself together. So I wanted to come out the door right.
All right. All right.
So here I am.
Wow. Because I've had a lot of people say, I mean, they're coming from a family whereby they have a big bone. I mean, I can give an example from my family. I told some people
wait a minute, Coach Herbert. First of all, I have a degree in biology. Okay, there is no thing such as big bone. Okay,
there's nothing like that.
No, there are no big bones.
Because people tend to say in our family we are all born big, so I can't reduce the body size.
Now,
I'm fine with it.
Genetically, there might be people in the family that are heavy. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? However, we
Mhm.
can still be healthy while heavy, but a lot of us aren't because of our eating habits, because of lack of exercise,
Mhm.
and we like to just put everything in our mouth. And you can't do that if you want to be healthy. You have
Oh
to
yeah.
drink plenty of water,
Oh
you
yeah. Oh
know.
yeah.
So, yeah, some people are just bigger natured because of genetics. But then a lot of us
Mhm.
aren't. A lot of us are just fat because we eat too much.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it
But
affects a lot of. It affects our relationships. It affects our work schedules. It affects our health, our
it
sleeping
does.
pattern. They're affected.
It does. And you know what happened to me? My feet actually got flat when I had all that weight. And I had to take Motrin or Tylenol or something to get out of bed, only so I can walk because my feet were hurting so bad. And I had a lot of weight in my knees where my right knee is still affected from that weight, where
Wow.
sometimes it can be uncomfortable. So I'm not dogging people out if they're overweight, but I'm saying a lot of times it affects our health. That's all I'm
Oh, it
saying.
Yeah, many a times it does affect our health. I struggle to sleep because of big health. I used to play rugby, but when I stopped playing rugby, I just had body just growing, boom, and it
Because you were
affected my sleeping
eating.
pattern. I would dread waking up. It was bad.
Right, right, right. So, do you live a healthy lifestyle now, or do you just eat
Oh
and
yeah,
think that
no, 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 no.
only people love you for you?
No, I just don't eat. I'm very particular now because, I mean, the nature of my work requires me to be healthy.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a personal decision that I have to make in terms of what I eat, and in
Okay.
terms of lifestyle, in terms of what gets into my mouth. Because I mean, unfortunately, a lot of people are dying young, not necessarily because death has come, but we have allowed death to come because of being
Right.
irresponsible because of what we eat.
That's true. That's true. So I have a very strict diet, as like you, a very strict diet. Weekends, my diet includes margaritas. Okay. Like tonight, I'm having a margarita. Yes. I'm going to the gym first.
Wow. All right.
But it is what it is. And I just want to be healthy for me first. For me
Mhm.
first.
For you first.
For me first, because that's a part of my self love or my self care.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
So
and
I
it's
never asked you, are you married?
um, not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Were you before? You're divorced?
I've been you talking of something interesting. I've been in relationships that probably, I mean, in my book, I talk about the difficulties of relationship. During my high school, I didn't date. I
Okay.
started dating in high school. So basically, I wasn't really knowledgeable about these things, and I think I was just pressing buttons and messed up.
Right.
And I was in relationships I think that eventually affected me, in the sense of, you get into a relationship growing up in church, you probably have not been taught in terms of what to expect and how to live in a relationship,
Okay.
and it did affect me in a way, big time. So basically, my previous relationship were not very good, and having done
Because of
psychology,
you? Because of
having done
you or because of
psychology,
them?
yeah,
Because of
having
you or
started
because of them?
because of me and probably them. I mean, it could be two. Both
Okay.
of us were probably contributory. But from a personal perspective, I think I wasn't really knowledgeable about much on relationships.
Okay.
With the understanding that I have today and I know now, I think I could have done better if I was today what I was back then.
Are
Having
you
started
healed?
psychology,
Are you
sorry.
are you healed?
Yeah, I am healed. Yeah, I am healed. It took quite a while. I think I carried a lot of bitterness and anger in a lot of things of the past that had happened. Having done psychology did not even help me either. But I look at it now, it was a learning curve. I talk about relationships on radio and in my platforms just not to make sure people go through the same stuff that I went through.
Okay. So what would you do different now that you didn't do before?
Look, what I would do different now, I would start. I think having grown up in church, I appreciate growing up in church, but these things in church, you don't talk about them.
Okay.
It's a structured environment where you don't really talk about sex, about relationships in the depths and in the openness that I do today.
Okay.
And I mean, as we spoke last time, there are things when you grow up in the church that are taboo to talk about. So what I do differently now is be open, be myself, be adventurous. That's what I believe in.
Be free, brother. Be free.
Be free, exactly.
Be free.
You know, we growing up in church, we don't talk about sex, but we want to do sex.
Right.
And I mean, there's a lot of don'ts, and they really affect you when you want to build a relationship.
Right. That's true. That's true. So
I'll do a whole lot of things differently now, and I think I've reached a point whereby I'm liberated from the things that I couldn't talk about previously. I struggled in my high school because of molestation, which I went through. So probably it did affect me then, why I couldn't get into relationships in high school. But just like what you asked, I'm healed. I'm good. I'm fine now.
So I have a question. Were you molested by a man or a woman?
A man.
A man. So how has that affected you, your sexuality? Because a lot of men that have been molested by men actually turn out gay.
In my case, I think it probably was different. Because when people are hurting, they react to pain differently.
Yes.
I think when I was molested, it was for a period of 2 weeks. And I didn't talk to anybody at home, my mom, my dad, my siblings. Only later years, I began to go out and talk about it. But what it did to me in terms of damage, I withdrew from relationships. I didn't want nothing about relationships.
Yes.
I never at any point wanted to experience the gay life, but I hated just being in a relationship because I think there was a lot of pain in me that had not gone out. And so I just wanted to be alone. So it did damage me emotionally when I started getting into relationships because there was not much of learning that I had. I carried the pain from my past, which was not healed. So basically, it did affect me.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? And we never even talked about this. I was molested too. I was molested about age 6 or 7, and it's in one of my books. And for me, it caused me to look for love in all the wrong places. And I think that's partially why, I've been married so many times. And I think it has something to do with me loving sex. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And they do say that a lot of times when young women have been molested, that they either really love sex or they completely hate it and don't really want anything to do with men. So it's quite ironic that, you know, you even shared that, and that opens up, you know, communication about abuse. And self-love, because a lot of us didn't know or don't know what self-love is based on trauma from the past.
Oh yeah.
You know, then you get in church settings and things like that, or different settings that are very cultish, and you think it's okay because you feel loved at that particular time. So I think that's why so many women and men are single, especially women, because you men have a choice. Like, only thing you got to do is be able to talk some game because women are so emotional.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I hear
Tiffany
you.
said,
But
I don't know if you can see the comments, but Tiffany said the church has failed in educating us about relationships. And a lot of us don't know or didn't know about relationships as adults.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And I think we only begin to know about relationships when we are in the relationship, when we know
Yes.
nothing at all. And that is, I think, a difficult time of learning because you probably need a little bit of understanding before you get into the relationship than to learn everything when you are in there because you cause a lot of damage and pain to somebody and to yourself also.
You do. And you know what? I appreciate my 5 marriages. I'm not going to lie. All of my marriages have been learning experiences.
Oh
And now
yeah, oh yeah.
I can take a look back and say, okay, well, you could have done better there, or you could have did it right here, or that wasn't nothing to get divorced about, girl, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I know my errors, my fault, being hot tempered, and I'm glad that God has softened me in that area because I'll fight you in a minute, man, woman, child. you know,
Wow.
and one of my ex-husbands, they'd be like, "You was crazy." Yes, I was crazy. Yes, I can admit to that. But we thank God
Oh
for
yeah.
therapy and we thank God for coaching.
One of the things, as you mentioned about the pain of the emotions, I realized when a person has gone through either sexual abuse, either molestation, the person that they are dating or going to marry also contributes to their healing in the sense of them being able to understand what the person has gone through. They either contribute to their healing or they either damage them even worse.
And that's true. But the thing is, we have to be honest about what we've gone through. So, are we
Yeah.
able to expose ourselves? Are we able to get naked? And I'm not talking about the physically naked, but can we get naked before that person and just bear it all? And so many
Oh yeah.
people are afraid of that.
Oh yeah. Because for me, I tend to think my previous relationships, they probably contributed more from my side in the sense I had not gone through the healing, and I'll just withdraw, I'll just be myself, I'll just be moody, and by the time I began to open up about my molestation, I was in the radio show talking about a girl who had been molested, and the mom did not believe she was molested, raped, in fact, and everybody in the studio, I realized, had gone through the same story. So when I began to talk about it, I began to feel a lot of release coming out of me.
Yes.
So if you don't talk about it, it literally damages you eternally, emotionally, and the damage can be lifelong to heal.
Yes, and it just kills your spirit. And sometimes you kind of blank out from that space and you don't understand why you're acting that way or those triggers. And that's why it's so important, I believe, that we need to be healed. We need to just expose ourselves and say, this is the truth. This is what happened to me. And I want the healing. I want to move forward. But so many people are afraid to. And then so many people want to keep that thing so other people can feel sorry for them.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And
It's self-pity shit.
people choose to remain victims than victors. I've seen, I can give an example. It's quite liberating when you begin to talk about your pain. It's quite,
Yeah.
I mean, just as you're talking about what you went through, I personally think if I was who I am today, I'm sure my previous relationships would not have ended up the way they ended because I see a lot of baggage that I was carrying that has since gone away that I'm beginning to see myself evolving and becoming a new person. But if we keep quiet, it ain't gonna help us. We'll damage ourselves, we'll damage the people who genuinely love us, and we can literally let go a relationship good for us because we still carry a lot of pain.
Right. But you know, like I said, a lot of people want to carry it. It's like baggage. It's like being a bag lady or a bag man. And I see so many men, and no offense to my male audience, with so much baggage as well, and they blame it on the woman. You know,
Oh yeah.
they don't want to just say, hey, it's me, because everything isn't the woman, and a lot of the woman's pain is caused by a man.
Oh yeah, you're right. Especially a man who has not opened up, a man who has not healed, causes a lot of pain on the women who are coming into their lives.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, culturally, white or black, I find it's very difficult for men to open up. In the Middle East, men struggle to open up. In Europe, men struggle to open up. Come back home in Africa, men struggle to open up.
And you know, it's because you all were taught to be so strong, and having emotions wasn't a part of your strength. But what I find is when you're able to get in touch with your inner self, with that emotional side, to me, that represents strength. To me, this is who I am. You accept me or you don't accept me, and everybody can keep it moving. Because one thing regarding a healed man is a blessed man. A healed man is going to be a blessed husband or boyfriend or, you know, spouse, whatever it is. But you have to get in tune and in touch with, and I'm going to say it like this, the feminine side, the emotional side. But then on the flip side, women have to allow you to be able to share, allow you to be able to cry, allow you to be able to see their quote unquote weaknesses without calling you a bitch, without calling you a punk, without saying like, why you crying all the time or whatever. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want no man crying all the time. Like, no, don't do that. You know, but it's okay sometimes, you know, because if you're crying all the time, I'm going to tell you, your ass needs some therapy and you need to get it out, bro.
That's another aspect. That's another aspect you just talked about. At times, men bottle up and keep to themselves because of how society treats them.
Yes.
And they choose not to open up, because I hear what you're saying. I mean, a man can't, you cry as a man because you're a human being. You got pain. But when you cry continuously like a baby, it's also a sign of not having healed.
Right.
There is a crying that is actually a sign of in pain of things you have not been healed of. So basically, there's two types of crying. There's crying which is genuine because you're a human being. Right. And then there's crying which is reflecting the pain which you have not been healed. And most men, I mean, we were talking before we were live on of currently what's happening in the sense of gender-based violence. It's huge in South Africa. It's huge in Namibia. It's huge in Botswana. It's huge in Zimbabwe. It's huge in Mozambique. Almost all African countries and some Middle East countries that I've been to, it's a big problem. But it starts with what you talk about. Men don't own up and open up.
So, Coach Herbert, and I was thinking about you today, right? And I was thinking about me coming over there to Africa and speaking, whatever. But I don't know if, you know, those men are ready, and you ain't going to have me up in somebody's jail or whatever. Or empowering these women. And now all of a sudden they got strength. Everybody mad at me.
I personally think, most men in Africa are ready to listen to somebody who can help them. They who can help them. They want to listen to people who can help them, but at the same time, I don't think at the moment in Africa the platforms have been created. No. The problem is when we are dealing with gender-based violence, we bring women to talk to women. We don't bring the men to attend the gender-based violence conferences, because gender-based violence has two people. There is the man and the woman. When you only address the woman, then you're not dealing with the issue. You need to deal with the perpetrator, who is the man. And many a times, I think men are left out of the conversations and the dialogues. And it becomes a problem when gender-based violence is being dealt with from the perpetrator only. Let's look at how these men feel and address them. Maybe, as you mentioned, it could have been an upbringing, a dysfunctional home that they went through. I strongly believe men can change from beating a woman and beginning to love a woman.
Yeah, I agree too, but I don't think they need to be in a relationship while they're learning this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I hear you.
That they need to be healed before they even decide that they want to date, because abuse, any type of abuse shouldn't be accepted by any woman, excuse me. However, a lot of women don't have the resources or somewhere to go to get out of it, especially in countries over there in the Middle East and South Africa.
As you rightfully say, I'm of the opinion that if I'm still carrying a lot of pain, I'm still going through the process of healing. I mean, people may think I'm being harsh, but you're not ready for a relationship because you are still carrying a lot of baggage. In a relationship, you're going to be offended, you're going to be hurt, and you are still not right in yourself. When you get into a relationship still carrying a lot of baggage, you're still going to beat another woman also. So they need the healing aspect first before they are ready to get into a relationship, but that is not happening now. They get into a relationship when they are still fresh of the wounds that they have gone through.
Yes. So are there men's conferences over there that are geared toward the men being healed?
Let's start one male conference, you and me in Africa. There's not been a male conference taking place. They've been talking about it on social media, but there's not been a male conference taking place, whether in South Africa, whether in any African country. But we do talk of these things on the internet, on the social media, but there's not been a male conference done. Not at all.
What I find is women go to these conferences and they go and get their healing and their strength, and they come back to the same situations over and over and over again. And it just keeps them in that same place of abuse. So not only do women need healing, like you said, the men need conferences and networks that they can have where they can go, be transparent, and be healed. But see, the thing with conferences, after the conference, where do they go?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, so we're looking at the whole complex of the gender-based violence. I mean, there's a lot of violence is taking place. We were talking, me and you, of when we're talking about even in churches, women are being abused in churches, sexually abused in churches by married pastors. Married women are being abused in churches. So it is a very difficult place for women to be safe, because if abuse is taking place in churches, then who's going to protect the woman? Who's going to be there for them?
That's why the woman better protect herself.
Exactly. So we really need male conferences in Africa, because they are important to be able to talk to men and deal with these issues. Head support groups. Somebody opens up and say, hey, dude, I was also going through this struggle. I had to get counseling and help. I stopped doing it. But when we just hear talks and you don't hear a man who has gone through gender-based violence who openly says, I struggled with it, but now I am good. You don't know whether there are people, men, who are overcoming it. So we need men to hear men's voices who have overcome gender-based violence.
So maybe you should be the voice for men.
Yeah, that would really be good. I've heard different platforms created, and I think I would want you to be on board and raffle some of the men as you speak also. But basically, it's also good to hear both sides, a man talking and a lady talking, how it damages the woman in the sense of gender-based violence. You beat a woman in the middle of the night, you want the cookie, you want her to perform like an angel making love to, but you have just beaten her terribly. It destroys everything.
It does. It does. And I couldn't imagine. I think that he would get some hot grease on his skin. You're not going to beat me.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? And then expect me to love you? No, it doesn't work that way. And no, I don't promote violence, but you're not going to hit me and harm me and expect me to love you. No, there has to be a different way. And I think that since you have the audience, I think that you should do something in the communities that you serve to really help heal men so that women can find wonderful husbands and, have companions and people that they can trust as opposed to harm them.
Oh yeah, I hear you. If you look at the whole issue, if you start from the issue of the gym that you spoke about, you used to weigh a lot of kilos, you have lost a lot of weight, it brings in a whole lot of issues. When there is no open communication, I mean, in the sense of healthy body for a woman, and as you say, letting go some fat. Mina, I also had a lot of fat on me, terrible fat. And to be honest, to let go of that fat, these are small things that become very toxic in the relationship.
Right.
People don't want to talk about them because they feel these are personal issues. You are invading my life, but it can't be.
So I have a question. I have a serious question. So in my experience dealing with Africans, not in a dating form, but when I had a church in Italy, it was Nigerian, Ghanaian, Kenyan. And it just seems like African men like bigger women. Is that true? Like y'all like them, like the bigger. No, I've actually heard the bigger they are, the more fruitful, I guess they are. The more the love. Is that true?
It's not true. I think it's an individual perception. I mean, it's not a collective perspective. It's an individual's perception. And I can give an example of my brother. He's late now. He used to, I'm walking with him. He used to, when he sees a bigger woman, he would say, like he's, hey. But it's an individual perception. It's not really a collective issue. But the reality of it, I mean, that women don't want to hear is that aspect of, I said to somebody, you want to get married now and your health is not good and leave somebody a widow because of your body, your health in the sense, not the body, but your fat is too much. You die young. So it's not an African perspective. It's because of taste. Suppose you want to eat at McDonald's, I want to eat here. So it's basically about individuals, not necessarily African men.
Okay. I mean, that's what I heard. So I said, I'm gonna come to the horse's mouth, and ask because, a lot of American women like, I'm gonna get me an African man. So anyway, let's talk about relationships. I love talking about relationships. And the reason that I love talking about the relationships is because I've had so many. So, and I've learned a lot. And I want to see people in healthy relationships. So I have to ask you first, why aren't you in a relationship? You're healed now.
Okay. I think what happens is when you get out of a relationship, you probably want to heal. You probably want to look at what is on the table, but you can be in a committed relationship and growing in it, and 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 wanting to take the next step to get married and to be fully committed. So I think that's probably where I am at the moment, in the sense of saying, yeah, you say, oh, she's good. I think we can build something here. That's where I am at the moment. Yeah. So basically, I take from what you said, I think there was a time I wasn't ready for a relationship because I had too much baggage. Okay. A lot of baggage. But yeah, I'm good now. I'm in a position.
So, wait a minute. So there's a lot of single women who want a man. Why haven't you chosen someone or allowed someone to choose you?
No, I'm not looking at somebody to choose me. I think my eyes are zeroing in on somebody.
Okay, so there's interest somewhere.
Yeah, there is interest, huge interest. Okay.
Is she interested back?
Very much.
Okay.
I mean, you can tell. So I'm in a situation where I feel I can't necessarily be said single. I'm committed.
Oh, okay. So you are committed. You're in a relationship. You're just not married.
Yeah.
Okay, I love that. Go ahead, whoop whoop. How long have you been dating? You better get it right. She's listening.
It can be put in different aspects, like what you said, where you probably are friends, you're just checking and you're looking at the vibes, you're looking at the chemistry, you're looking at how probably you feel you can say, hey, I'm all good here. Even before the person knows it, that you're friends and you're getting talking, and probably to say really talking, and from 2018 is talking and looking at the person and say, yeah, I think we can build something, different environments, different mindsets, but you look at it, yeah, we can.
Okay, so since 2018, you guys have been friends or dating? Because you weren't specific.
Friends.
Friends. Okay, so are you in a committed relationship now?
Yeah, I am. I'm off the shelf. I'm not available.
Okay, so how long have you been off the shelf?
I think for as long as I can remember, from talking and looking at the mindset and understanding. I mean, from like I said, from the time we started talking, 2018, and growing and seeing, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you haven't dated anyone else since 2018?
No.
Okay.
No, so I haven't.
2018 then. Okay, well that's nice. So what's taking you so long to be like
to want to get married?
Yes.
I think it should be happening very soon.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, why are you making her wait? She ready?
Yeah. She's ready.
Oh, she healed?
Yeah, she's probably healing, not necessarily healed, maybe healing.
Okay. So how are you helping her in her healing process?
Applying my knowledge from psychology and from coaching. Yeah, apply them and say, hey, look, A, B, C, D is still some baggage you need to let go.
That's beautiful. You know, it's beautiful because a lot of times people don't want to help people heal.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a very important statement you just said.
You know, especially in relationships. But what I find is that no one's going to come to you whole, like completely 100%. We all have some healing or something. And for you to be able to encompass and embrace that something and encourage and help, I think that's a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah,
So,
oh yeah. No, I agree.
what does healing look like for you? A man being healed.
A man, when he is healed from a personal perspective, I think it is applicable in a whole lot of aspects. You are free to live your life as a man and to express yourself, and you allow the person in your life that they can be freely expressing themselves. Because when you are healed, you're not worried about losing somebody.
Yes.
As a man, you're not worried about losing hair. I mean, there's a worry of losing hair, which is as a result of the damage that you're carrying. And
Right.
most men, they don't want to admit to that. So your way of communicating, your way of talking, your way of allowing space and getting space, I mean, it reflects in the type of healing that you're going through.
Right. What makes you cry?
Wow, that's a beautiful one. I'm a person who expresses my emotions. I can cry because of excitement. I mean, I can just enjoy it because of excitement.
Okay.
I can cry because of I think some things that have happened in my past can be reflected in A, B, C, D issues. My 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 four brothers passed on. My mom passed on when I was pretty young. My dad passed on. So I think it created a gap in me. And a lot of people did not understand what I was going through. Right. Even my sisters and probably families around me, they probably did not understand what I was going through. So I carried that pain for quite a while. I think realistically, to begin to feel the healing, I've learned on bereavement counseling. But I think when I went through the bereavement counseling myself, I began to feel a lot of baggage was going off.
Nice.
I realized I cried a lot. I had not cried a lot even when I was molested. I had not cried. I think even some of the relationships that had gone bad and the breaking up wasn't really good. And I stuffed too much. So I began to realize these things are just going off. So healing is not one-sided. It's looking from different aspects of your life as a person. You begin to have a lot of patience. You begin to have a lot of tolerance. You begin to have prepared to understand somebody because you've gone through healing. And you begin to put yourself in somebody's shoes, even if you don't understand what they're going through. You probably have an idea of what it is to be where they are and struggle. You might not really know exactly, but you probably have a little bit of an understanding.
Right. You know, what makes me cry is when I can change people's lives. I think the older I get, and I think it might be hormonal too, like I'm always crying. I'm like always crying about something. And I was like, is this the hormones? I think I'm going through the change.
I've been on radio in the studio, just like you're saying. I think I love seeing lives changing. Yeah. I've cried in the studio countless times with guests in the studio, and they're looking at me. I'm all teary. I mean, I think to me, the best experience, seeing a life transformed or seeing a life evolving or changing, either through your relationship with them or through you inspiring them. So basically, on that aspect, we can go to the Middle East and I begin to look at life transformed and I cry. You look, hey, Herbert, what's going on? It's something that is in me.
And you know, it's like when I'm passionate about something and I'm talking about it, it's like I can feel like the tears coming because I know what I'm saying is first from God, but then it does something to me as I'm watching the person. You know, and it's like, wow, God. And a lot of times people think that you need this huge audience or you need to be on a pulpit or you just need to be on something big. But these one-on-ones, to me, that's ministry. To me,
Oh,
that's helping someone and that's changing someone's life. You know, the fact that you said that you were molested, somebody going to hear, because a lot of men aren't going to say, hey, I've been molested. You know what I'm
oh
saying?
yeah.
So to me, what you gave was ministry, which is service. You served
Mm.
someone, but in a different capacity. And I honor and I respect you for that. Because, like I said, a lot of men won't share that type of stuff, especially on a public forum.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. No, I agree with you. I hear you. Because the problem, Sharon, is if you have to understand me and to love me, I have to, just as you said, I have to be naked and put on the table stuff I've gone through.
Right.
And I'm not putting on the table stuff I've gone through for you to feel sorry for me, but just to understand, hey, I'm still going through some changes. I
Yes.
may not behave right all the time, but I want to be right. But it still has probably a contribution of some of the things that I'm getting out of. But if
Yes.
I if I keep a part of me away from the person I am with, then they are not able to understand me. They are not able to see maybe I still have some moods that I have to do probably with when I just think about the molestation, it affects me. I was at I was at Bangladesh University. I spoke, and the student body, there was a whole lot of issues there. I just shared my life.
Right.
Professors, I think about 18 professors just came up and said, hey, we have been part of the professors who have been molesting students here. 13
Wow.
professors, 13 professors literally crying. So I have found joy in my pain to say, hey, sorry for my shit happens. It happened to me,
Yeah.
but I can be able to inspire somebody and say, anything can happen in life. We have to go over it. I look at my past relationships in a way weren't very good, but I've also found some lessons out of it. I talk about them to say, if I had done this right, I think it could have been a different story. Many a
Right.
times we always blame the person we broke up with as if they are the bad, but we probably contributed a lot. I say,
Right.
if I contribute 1% to a problem, somebody has contributed 99%. There wouldn't be
Right.
a problem if I had contributed 1%. So my 1% can be a big issue as to have a problem. So basically, as you said, we need to learn to open up and talk and say, hey, you say you want me. This is how dirty I've gone through stuff. This
Right.
is terrible stuff I've gone through. As a man, like what you say, I feel good. I feel relieved. I feel people look at me differently at times when I talk about it, but they come back to me and they say, hey, I also went through this. I also went through this. How did you manage? So I began to realize, just as you said, I end up literally realizing I'm giving life to other people. I've
Yes.
decided to be vulnerable and speak about things people don't want to talk about.
Yes. And you know what's funny? Like people ask me, Sharon, would you have changed anything in your life? And I say no, because everything in my life helped me to be who I am now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and who I am, I love. Who I am changes life. Who I
Mm-hmm.
am inspires and empower other women and men just
Oh yeah.
to be whatever that is. And also teaching people how to live authentically without any apologies, but living in their truth. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
living in your truth hurts other people, but that's
Oh
okay.
yeah.
And when I say hurt other people, it means not intentionally going out there to hurt others, but to say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, this happened to me, because sometimes family don't understand. You know,
Oh yeah.
sometimes people don't uh, want you to be free. They rather
Oh
have
yeah.
you
Oh yeah.
bound and dependent as opposed to free and expressive, you know,
Mm-hmm.
living your best life. So I appreciate all that stuff that has taken place in my life, offer no one any apologies at all. And that's what I pray for other women, just to be free, be who you are,
Oh yeah.
and
Oh
keep it
yeah.
moving.
My passion is to see a whole lot of men in Africa and the Middle East come to a realization that as long as we don't talk about our pain, we don't talk about our struggles, we don't talk about our scandals, whether it was genuinely scandalized or it was false, in whatever case it is, we will not be able to help other people. We will not be able to inspire other people because it takes failing to succeed. That's the most funniest thing about life. You need to fail to learn how to succeed. So men need to hear somebody speaking out and talking and be able to hear, say, look, I went through this stuff. It wasn't easy. I was struggling, but I had some steps I took, I overcame. So basically, like what you say, you begin to inspire a generation and beyond generations.
Right. I have to ask you this. What do you feel about Pastor John Gray cheating on his wife again? And what do you feel about Prophet Ofori killing his wife?
Well, okay. We had a conversation, I remember some time ago.
We didn't agree. Like, I wanted to chop your head off.
You're putting me on the spotlight. I think, I don't know how people look at it. I mean, you can't be cheating today and she forgives you. You cheat again tomorrow. She forgives you. I have a different understanding and mindset. What makes you go out of your marriage or relationship to cheat with another woman or with another man? Number one,
I didn't like what you said.
It comes back to what you said last time. A relationship is about communication. If the sex ain't good, you can make it good. You talk about it.
Yes, that's true.
Because the only reason why you're going out to get it out there, you probably have some fantasies in your mind and you think, oh, she can perform like wicked good, so I want to try it. But you can try her in your own relationship or marriage.
Right.
So basically, I don't know how he feels it. He's in a position of being a pastor, and we always come up with these statements. Look, we need to forgive. Yeah, we forgive, but we can't keep tolerating what you keep doing.
Right. But you said to me, this is in private when it first happened and we were texting. You said, well, what did she do? And I was like, man, why did she have to do something? Why couldn't it just be his lust? You know what I'm saying? Because people do what they want to do. We don't cause anyone to do anything. Yes, I believe you should make sure you take care of your man, make sure you look good, smell good, all that kind of stuff. But
and you take care of your body.
Your heart. You know what I'm saying? That you have to keep doing that.
Yeah. Because it takes two to tango, Sharon. I mean, both the two parties. I think the lady, just as she said, she has to take care of the men. Unfortunately, some men are being starved in their houses. Some women are being starved. Comes back to what you said, too much food is killing sex.
Yes, that's true.
It's killing a lot of sex. We are eating like pigs. Anything that comes in our face, we salivate and we eat. But it has terrible consequences in the bedroom. So basically, for somebody to do well in a sexual relationship, they have to take care of their body. They have to take care of their food appetite. You can't eat like a pig. Anything that comes that is edible, you have to eat it. Right. It damages your penis. It gets affected. Yes. Some women have not experienced a full erection of the man because the man eats terrible food.
Right. And you know what? A lot of men don't try to please their women. It's like all about them sexually.
It's about the woman pleasing the man. That's how we take it. And it's not that. Pleasure has to be given to both. The man has to give pleasure to the woman has to give pleasure. But society tends to think the woman has to perform like a sex devil just to please the man. but she's not getting fed.
You know, I ask crazy questions. Is like oral sex like a big thing in South Africa or Africa? Like,
Oh, it is. It is. Men talk
really?
about it. Talk about it.
They talk about it?
Yeah.
They do it?
Yeah, they do it.
So the African men expect the African women to do it, or the African men do it too?
I think the problem, from what I hear in talking, the man wants the woman to do it. The man doesn't want to do it. That's the majority of the men. They want the woman to do it, but then, hey, they, sorry for my speaking, they feel the pussy maybe is not really clean, but I don't know. Talking of things, I mean, when men are talking these things, we talk about them. Come on, Cheryl.
I hit the button by mistake and took you off. So wait a minute. Okay. So
There are others who even call it ungodly. I don't know where the ungodliness, because I think God gave us these equipments and the tools to use them. That's what I think. That's me. When God was creating.
Wait. So you said the men be like, I don't know if the pussy clean.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm gonna help you out, right? I'm gonna help you out. Tell the men, you know, so they can perform on the women, that they can take a shower together.
They can take a shower.
Yeah, like that way he knows she clean down there.
I've got my friend in Vintuku. He's watching. He talked to me. He says that girl talks a lot. I'm sure he's watching. He's listening to this part.
Yes, he is. So yeah, like to make sure it's clean, as far as like not stinky or whatever. I mean, otherwise you have to take them to get a check. But yeah, like just jump in the shower together. It's not fair for the men to expect the women, and you know, the men not doing it back.
I'm throwing it to you, Sharon. Do women have to be taught to clean that state house?
Some women do. I actually have that in this book.
Wow.
I said your pussy stink.
You've got it in that book.
I do.
Because I'm of the opinion some women just don't like to clean that thing. I mean, my mom and dad, I know my mom every night growing up, every night she would bath before she goes to bed. So my brother the other day, his late Rodwell, says, oh, there's some serious business there that they need to be clean there. I mean, I began to understand it, because I was wondering, every night my mom would go to bath before she goes to bed, every night.
Well, what I don't understand, and this is from a woman's point of view, a woman can smell herself. You know what I'm saying? So if you smell yourself, then other people smell you too. Unless you're immune to the smell and you just think it's normal. But you can put your finger down there, put it on your nose, and you can see if it stink or smell good. It's like simple stuff, you know, that women can try.
To do that.
And then also a man can do the same thing. And if she don't smell good, be like, babe, smell this. You know?
Because I think there's not a lot of honesty. Some men don't like bathing. Some women don't like bathing. They say they are tired, they can't go bath. But you're sharing the bed with somebody.
Right.
Why would you want to be fresh? Suppose you're just horny.
That's actually why I got divorced one time, because he was just dirty. Like he didn't want to take a bath, and I was like, I couldn't take it no more. It was just, you know, and then somebody want to put their dirty dick in you, and you're like, no.
They put their dirty dick in you.
Yes. So That's not healthy, right?
Yeah, it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. I'm going to have a male conference, and I want you to speak for men to clean the dick and clean the body.
Right.
Women, clean the pussy. It's supposed to be
And
clean.
you know the worst thing regarding a male, um, and I haven't smelled a woman like this, is when a man gets up from like a leather seat or a plastic seat and you can smell the stench from his butt. That's like horrible. You know, and to me, if other people could smell it, I know you smell your ass.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But
yeah.
but see, and that's where honesty comes in with male female relationships. Babe, don't you think you should take a bath? I smell you. That that wasn't
Wow.
harsh,
Yeah, it
but it
wasn't
was
harsh. I mean,
real. You know, so I think we have to be honest with ourselves and honest with our mates.
there are some men who give an excuse to say the nature of the job, they come back home, they are really tired, they just want to go to the bed or in the bedroom. But when they are there, their hand is all also going to the pussy, they still want to have it. But they realize they are dirty, they didn't bath, but they still want to have it. So there's an aspect of communication that is required. I mean, if you know at some point in the middle of the night, you're going to want to take the food and eat it in the bedroom, make sure you just clean.
Right, right. That's the truth. You know, but
If
we could go. Go ahead, I'm listening.
if you could say it affected your previous marriage because somebody didn't want to bath, but they wanted their dick in, but they don't want to bath. I mean, it's a serious issue. So it's something
Yeah,
people have to really talk about.
I think we have to be honest. And then when you're on the receiving end, you have to just take what the person is saying, evaluate it, and make the changes.
Oh yeah,
You
oh yeah.
know, and I think sometimes we refuse to change who we are.
And refusing to change who we are, we become frustrated and isolated,
We
and
do.
we become bitter towards people because we have refused to change. I've always said when you decide to get into a relationship and to get married, there's one thing that you must be able to do to adapt and to change. If you're so rigid you ain't going to change, nobody's going to stay with you, nobody's going to get married to you, nobody's going to keep a relationship with you, because there are a lot of things that have become so personal about you. When you're in a relationship, you just have to let them go for the sake of the relationship. But if you don't want to
Right.
change, then it's going to affect the relationship, it's going to affect your partner also.
And that is so true. So, what is our takeaway from this live? What do you want other people to know? And I don't know, I guess he kind of hit his remove button and logged off, but I want to thank everyone for tuning in to One on One with Sharon K. Griffin, and also with my very special guest, Coach Herbert, who I adore and I think is phenomenal. Again, butterflies, I hope that you continuously flap your wings, be the person that you were designed to be, live healthy, eat healthy, and do the damn thing. You are on one with Sharon K. Griffin. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And again, this has been phenomenal.
Your way because freedom costs you the bus. You're not lost, just free.